Now, today is being marked as World Toilet Day, a day to take action and raise awareness about all the people who do not have access to a toilet, despite the human right to water and sanitation.
We're here to tell us more. We're joined by Carolynne Wheeler from WaterAid. Good evening, Carolynne. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
Now, off air, we were talking about this, and you did mention that it's quite an uncomfortable topic to talk about toilets. But it's such an important thing when it comes to a day like this, when we're raising awareness about everyone who don't have access, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, it is a difficult thing to talk about. Nobody likes to talk about the toilet. It's sort of a private thing. It's a bit uncomfortable, makes people squirm. But when the UN declared the first World Toilet Day last year, it was a really important moment for us because in addition to being a bit uncomfortable and difficult to talk about, it's also a major health crisis. We know that 1,400 children are going to die today, tomorrow, the day after, because they have diarrheal illnesses that could have been prevented if they had access to clean water and a basic toilet and a way to wash their hands and keep themselves and their bodies clean. So this is a major health crisis, and it is something that we are trying very hard to get people to recognize and pay attention to. And so for us, today is a moment to give us an even better excuse to sort of talk about these problems.
I mean, to be honest, it's great that we're creating this kind of awareness, because it is quite unfortunate when people don't have the kind of latrines where they live, and people having to kind of almost dig holes and defecate in the open. And also, I'm conscious of, there is a photographic exhibition about this as well, really, isn't there? And how much of an impact has that had? Is that helping in promoting the message and highlighting the importance of this, really?
I think what photo exhibits like the one that Panos has done today, it really help bring the problem to life a little bit, because it's hard for us sitting here in sort of our comfortable homes in the UK to really even picture this kind of a problem. We take it for granted, don't we? That we can get up in the morning and turn on a tap and flush the toilet, and it's all as it should be. But really, I think photo exhibitions like this one give us a really good chance to sort of show people what this means. When we talk about basic sanitation, we aren't referring necessarily to the nice flush porcelain variety that we become used to here. What we're talking about is a very basic latrine that separates you from your waste and your waste from the water supply. So you're not contaminating your drinking water somewhere further along the line. And that is so critically important. It's a matter of health. There's all kinds of diseases that are transmitted
I remember reading it's not just on the health and diseases side, but it's also about girls are being reluctant to go to schools because there's inadequate sanitation facilities there. So you're going to have a whole generation of girls in these countries who are not going to be educated.
This is true. This is a very important problem one that we've also been working on, and that is that particularly when a girl reaches puberty, if they don't have a private, safe, clean place to take care of themselves at school, they're just not going to be, many of them are not going to be able to go. And they'll stay home maybe for a week, a month, but eventually they fall behind and they may drop out completely. And it's also, I mean, we also have seen this year some terrible tragedies in India where young girls have been attacked when they've gone out to relieve themselves in the field at night. So this is a matter of safety, it's a matter of dignity, it's a matter of health. And it's so preventable. It is a problem that can be tackled.
And today is all about raising awareness, and we mentioned that photography exhibition, and what I liked about it is that it didn't just show you images from the third world about how people use the toilet, but it mixed that in with what we're very much used to, and I think that's what brings it all together when you see an image of what you're used to against an image that is quite striking and surprises you.
Exactly, and these photos, I mean, I quite loved going through them. We've worked with, WaterAid has worked with Panos as well, and we've done some fantastic photo compilations. I mean, the images are so striking, the colors and the starkness of them, and situations that we recognize as everyday, and then things, sort of that juxtaposition with places that we aren't so familiar with. I think it's really, really important.
And is it just about trying to raise awareness and then trying to raise funds to help these people? Is there something that governments can do at a local level in terms of the infrastructure of those countries?
We do. Well, this is, I mean, the big part of it today is advocacy and awareness and fundraising, but next year is a really critical year for us and for our partner organizations who work in water and sanitation, and that is that next year the UN Millennium Development Goals will run out, and there will be a determination on what will replace them into the new Sustainable Development Goals, and these will serve as the blueprint for development work going forward to 2030. And so it's really important for us that we see a strong standalone goal on water and sanitation so that it can be made a priority for governments around the world, so that it can actually, this focus can be placed on it, because sanitation has been neglected in the last set of Millennium Development Goals. It's one of the most off track of all of them. And we see that this is a health crisis, and addressing this can address so many other things. It's such a basic pillar of healthcare that we feel that it's really important to keep the attention on this.
Now, Elizabeth, we're talking earlier about, obviously, we're looking to spend millions on this space probe. How important is it to promote things like this, and even like the governments who are putting money in space programs, etc., just lobbying them even to say, look, we've got to support these kind of projects?
When India recently launched a Mars mission, there was a lot of they got a lot of flack, basically, because there was people saying, you haven't got sanitation in your country, why you're going to Mars. But building a space program is about building an economy. You know, it's something, we rely on space every day. So it's one of those things, if you build up the economy, then you can make sure that the governments themselves have enough money to then put back into sanitation afterwards. And it's a snowballing effect, basically.
Carolynne, how can people support projects like WaterAid and find out more about it?
Well, we have a website. Is the short answer. But there are a number of organizations that are working on this. There will be I imagine, a lot of attention on this issue and many others next year as the UN moves towards these new set of development goals.
Perfect.
Fantastic. Well, Carolynne, thank you so much. Extremely informative, and we hope that the campaign brings you everything that you desire and everything that you're looking to achieve off the back of it.